Hi, Kerry here. Welcome to the Moon and Libra channel. I'm just doing a video today about the difference between tarot and oracle cards. I've had a few people who have asked me what is the difference between an oracle deck and a tarot deck. So I just thought I would make a quick video and explain. So I've got a set of tarot cards here and I've got a few oracle decks in front of me. So the difference really is that in a tarot deck, the meanings of all of the cards are pretty much standard. So a tarot deck has 78 cards in it, most of the time. And it's split up into two kind of sections. There's the major arcana section and the minor arcana. And the minor arcana section is a bit like a deck of normal playing cards where you've got 4 different suits and it goes up to number 10. And then in a set of playing cards, you've got Jack, Queen and King. But in a tarot deck, you've got 4 court cards, which are Page, Knights, Queen and King. So there's 14 cards for each suit, and then that's the minor arcana. And then the major arcana has got each card's got a different energy, and they call it the Fool's Journey. I'm just going to pause it and find the Fool. Hang on. Okay, so this is the Fool, and this is the very first card in any tarot deck, and it's numbered 0. And the major arcana section of a tarot deck basically takes you through the Fool's Journey, and in this card he's just setting off. And then the last card is card 21, and we've got the World, and the Fool has completed his journey into ascension basically. So each card in the major arcana has very different energy. You've got the energy of Temperance, which is moderation, patience. Here we've got Judgment, which means kind of atonement. The Hermit is a card of introspection. Death is a card of transformation. The Empress is all about divine feminine energy and fertility and love, things like that. I'm not going to go into each different card in one video. I have started a tarot guide section on my channel. I think I've got up to something like card number 9 or 10 in that, but I am planning on actually starting again with that study course, because I'm moving into my healing room soon and it's going to look much nicer. It's going to be a much nicer kind of environment to record the videos, and I want them all to look uniform. All of the videos in that study series, I want to look the same. So I am planning on starting again, going back to the Fool again, and recording videos about each of the energies in each of the cards. So that's 78 videos in total, so it's going to take me a while to get through them. So they're the major arcana cards, and then you've got the minor arcana cards, which if one way to look at it is major arcana cards signify really significant events and things happening in your life that have a deep impact on your life. And then you've got the minor arcana cards, which are more kind of generalized energies, like day-to-day experiences, things like that. Lots of very different types of energy in the minor arcana cards, with each of the suits representing a different element. So the Cups represents the element of water, which corresponds to the emotional side of life. The Swords represent the element of air, which corresponds to the mental side of life and communication and travel as well, things like that. You've got Pentacles, which correspond to finance and physical kind of well-being, things like that, the home, the family. And then you've got Wands, which represents the element of fire, which corresponds to your desires and your dreams and your drive and your ambition and career. So that's a kind of quick rundown of the tarot and how a tarot deck looks. And then you can get different kind of themed tarot. So I'll show you a couple that I've got in front of me. I'll just pause my camera. Okay, so I've got here the Angel Tarot. So this is based around the deck that I just showed you, which is the Rider-Waite deck, which is the traditional tarot deck. But this one has got the same amount of cards, so there's still 78 cards in this deck. It's the Angel Tarot. So the person who has created this deck has themed the tarot around angels and archangels specifically. So while each of the cards in this deck still have very similar meanings to the ones that are in the Rider-Waite deck, there's a kind of extra energy, I suppose, in terms of the angels coming through in this deck, and the meanings are modified a little bit, or kind of there's additional meanings to this card. So for example, the card 11, which is a major arcana card and the card of strength, will still hold the meaning of it that is in the Rider-Waite deck, but the person who's created this deck has also kind of added the energy of Archangel Ariel into this card. So while this card still holds the same energy as that of the Rider-Waite, there's a kind of an additional energy coming through with the support of Archangel Ariel. And the same, the same can be said for every card in this deck. It still holds the same sort of energy. There's still the same number of cards. The minor arcana cards are still based around the same elements, but they're literally called the Knight of Fire, the Nine of Fire, rather than it being the Wands, the Ace of Water, rather than it being the Cups. There's another deck that I use, the Art of Love, where they've corresponded the Wands to stars, the Cups to hearts. I'm trying to remember what else. The swords, which correspond to the element of air, are angels, and the pentacles are trees. But each card still holds the basic energy of the tarot deck. I'll show you this one. This is the Aleister Crowley Thoth Tarot deck, and this one's got a very different energy, and I was reluctant to buy this one because of the reputation of Aleister Crowley for kind of dabbling in the dark arts. So the energy of these cards is very different, especially to something like the Angel Tarot deck and the Art of Love Tarot deck. I mean, just look at the Fool, if I can find that card. When I saw the Fool in this deck, I nearly didn't buy them, but I wanted to buy them because they have symbols of the astrological association for each card. So this is Sun in Aries. So the Three of Wands is the Sun in Aries. So that's the symbol for the Sun and the symbol for Aries. And I like to use the astrological associations of each card to help me understand the energy of each card. So these symbols on these cards have really helped me to learn the energies of each card, but they've just got a different energy. I don't use them very often unless I need some sort of Kali type energy coming in, some kind of shadow. Unless I feel like I need some shadow type energy, I don't tend to use these cards very often. But I just wanted to show you the difference in the energy between one deck and another. And then I've got this set, which is it's neither an oracle or a tarot deck, or it's kind of both. It's called a tarot, First Light Tarot, but it only has major arcana cards in it. And then it's got a set of oracle cards as well. So it's a very different deck, and I quite enjoy having fun with this deck actually, because it's got the major arcana cards, like I say, but it's also got placement cards, or spread cards I think they're called. So it's got, this is a major arcana card corresponding to the card of Justice, but then it's got this, which is an oracle card, so it's talking about the emotion. So it's just got the one word and a little phrase there, control of self. So this kind of blends oracle and tarot cards in it. That's got the World, card 21, the World. And then we've got another oracle deck, which is good versus evil. That's the energy of a battle. But then it's got like these cards, which are spread cards, I think they're called. So you can use this to ask the question. So this card, you would lay this down as a spread, and the card that you draw for this one would correspond to what's going to happen in the near future. So it's quite an interesting deck, and it's quite fun to use this one. So now I'll show you some oracle cards, so you get the idea of what the difference is between a tarot and an oracle. I should have showed you that one last, really, thinking about it, but I'll show you this deck first, which is my kind of go-to oracle deck. This is the Archangel Metatron self-mastery deck, and this has been written by Amanda Ellis. So what she's done is she's created the energy of each of these cards. She's thought about what she wants to include within her deck. An oracle deck doesn't have to kind of stick to the format of the tarot with the 78 cards and the major and minor arcana. They're just a deck, just one deck in itself, and you can have as many cards as you want in an oracle deck. This one's got 55, I think. Yeah, 55 cards in this one. And each card has a different energy, and each card has been designed and written by the author and the artist. So the artist worked alongside the person who's writing the deck and creates the images, or sometimes it's the same person doing the writing and the art as well. But I know that this is a collaboration between Amanda Ellis and an artist called Jane Delaford Taylor. Yeah. So Jane's done all of the artwork, and Amanda's done all of the kind of design of the deck and the writing. So this is the book, and she's got a write-up for each card. So Amanda's decided on the energy of each card and written up the meaning of each card, and Jane has created the artwork for it. So for example, because Amanda is a colour therapist, a lot of the cards revolve around the different colour rays and the energy of each colour. So this one represents silver, warrior of light. And then in this card, to me, I associate this with spiritual protection as well. And Amanda's actually got sprays. She makes energy sprays, and this is one of her sprays. But on the bottle for spiritual protection, this is the picture that she's got on the front of it. So I associate this card with spiritual protection. And then let's go for this one. So she's got the colour of gold. So in the book, when you go to the card corresponding to when you go to the write-up corresponding to this card, it will be all about the energy of gold. But you don't have to go to the book. A lot of people do intuitive readings with oracle decks, and they'll look at this card and they'll draw things out intuitively. So somebody might be looking at this card and be drawn to the colour purple that's in it, and to them purple might be a colour that represents deep spiritual meditation or whatever. That they might be drawn to the yellow ray, they might be drawn to the infinity symbol or the heart within it. So you don't have to read the oracle decks in accordance to what is written in the book, although you can. The book is there to support you in your readings. But you can look at each card and you can draw out instinctively and intuitively messages that are being kind of given to you by spirit and your guides. And the same goes with the tarot cards as well. I mean, you might be looking at this, you might look at this card and see him holding two drumsticks and be reminded of somebody playing the drums. And you might think, oh, is there a drum associated with you? Or do you like drumming or something? So, any kind of symbology that you draw from the cards, and spirit will use all sorts of different ways to get messages through to you. So it could be something as simple as looking at this card and seeing, I don't know, the bird on her hand, and maybe that particular bird might have a particular meaning for you because of an experience that you've gone through yourself. In which case, spirit would draw your attention to that bird and remind you of what it means to you, and you could bring that into your reading. So the cards are there to use intuitively. You don't have to stick rigidly to each meaning or to the meaning within the books. And a lot of people do like to read cards intuitively. Let me show you a different deck. Oh god, sorry, I'm just wrecking my desk here. Book's falling over. So this is another deck completely. This is called the Wisdom of Avalon Oracle deck. I'll show you the book, much smaller book, and the writing, she's got quite short and succinct write-ups for each card in this book, but each card has got a definite energy to it. So she's got 3 different kind of sections to this deck. She's got an animal spirit section, she's got a kind of symbolic section with these symbols, but you can look at this image and find lots of different things within the image and read it intuitively. You know, your eyes might be drawn to the reflection in the water, and you might feel like this card's bringing through the message to spend some time reflecting and evaluating. You know, it could be anything really, or your eye could be drawn to the rock in the forefront, and you know, the message coming through could be you need to spend some time grounding so that you're a bit more steady and solid. You know, it could be, you can really draw a lot of diverse meanings from one card depending on the energies of the reading that you're doing and what comes through to you, what's given to you by your guides and by spirit as you're doing the reading. So, you know, we've got so many different energies in one deck. This is the energy of birth and rebirth, showing you the autumnal scene. And then we've got a dragon coming through, and a wasp, and the bard, the Avalon bard. The novice. You know, the energy changes from card to card as well in most decks. Each card has got a very different specific meaning. And a lot of oracle decks are based around a certain theme. So this one that I'm going to show you is based around the theme of Lord Ganesha. And we've got Lord Ganesha on the back, and each of the cards depict Lord Ganesha in a different energy. Sorry, my daughter just came in. So this is the energy of the crown chakra, and then the energy of being nurtured shows Ganesha as a baby with Parvati. The energy of protection, inner knowing, and the third eye. So while the theme of these cards are Lord Ganesha, again, each card has got a different energy to it. I'm just wondering if there's another oracle deck that oh yeah, I'll show you this one as well. So this card, this deck, is all about crystals. It's by the same person who did the Wisdom of Avalon deck, and each card has got a different crystal on it. So I quite often use this deck if I'm doing healings or readings to bring through a crystal that can help people with different issues. Okay, I'm going to leave it there because it's getting a bit lively in the house, and people are going to start barging in soon, or they already have. So yeah, I'll leave the video there. I hope you found it useful, and I'll be back again with another reading soon because it's nearly full moon, and I'm going to do an energy reading for the full moon soon. Okay, so thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, so that you can be notified of any further videos. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.